Hi, good morning, friends. So, welcome to this new section. And you remember what we have been studying in the previous days? We are studying about different seasons. We finished studying about the winter season, summer season, and we saw what are the specialities, what are the features that people experience during the season. And today we shall study about the advancing monsoon, the coming of monsoon, or it is called the rainy season. So let us learn about that today. You can take your textbook, page number 33. The advancing monsoon or the rainy season. So by early June, the low pressure condition over the northern plains intensifies. So by June, beginning of June, the low pressure is intensifying in the northern plain area. So the pressure is going down. Then it attracts the trade winds of the southern hemisphere. So in the northern plain, when the temperature is low, air pressure is low, from here the southern hemisphere, where the temperature is high, pressure is high, air will move that side where there is low pressure. So it is a form of a trade wind. The air moves from southern hemisphere to the northern plains of India. And these southeast trade winds originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern oceans. So this wind, we said, it is moving from southern hemisphere to the northern plains, and it is a warm wind, and this originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern oceans. So the southern part of the oceans, it is starting from there, and it is the ocean is warm, and therefore the wind that is blowing also will be warm. And they cross the equator and blow in the southwesterly direction, entering the Indian peninsula as the southwest monsoon. So they flow or blow through the ocean, and then they cross the equator, then they enter or flow towards the southwesterly direction, and then enter into India. So you remember the position of India. India is above the equator. So the wind that is coming from the south and southern ocean, it is blowing over the hot or warm sea, warm ocean. Then it is crossing the equator. Then it is entering into southern part of India. Then it is known as monsoon. When it is reaching the Indian peninsula, it is known as southwest monsoon. And as these winds blow over the warm oceans, they bring abundant moisture to the subcontinent. So the ocean is warm, therefore we know the water will be evaporated. That evaporation of the water will be carried by this wind, and this wind is carrying a lot of moisture, and that is how we receive the rain. So where there is warmth in the ocean, and it causes the water to be evaporated, and then other place there is low pressure of air, therefore from the high pressure places air is passing to or blowing to other places where there are low pressure. So in that process it is carrying a lot of moisture. Then these winds are strong and blow at an average velocity of 30 kilometers per hour. So this wind that is coming from the southern ocean, which is warm current, and it is blowing at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. And with the exception of the extreme northwest, the monsoon winds cover the country about a month. So this wind that entering into Indian southern peninsula, it is almost covering the entire country within 1 month, except some areas. Where is it? Except the extreme northwest. So the northwest side gets rain very late, but all the other parts of India, it is receiving rain within 1 month. It starts from the first week of June from the south, from the southern coast, and then almost within a month it is covering the entire area except the south and the west areas, the regions of our country. Then the inflow of the southwest monsoon into India brings about a total change in the weather. So till June we talked about. From March to May people are living in the hot weather. The climate is very hot. So suddenly in the month of June the temperature in the northern plain goes down, therefore it attracts the wind from the ocean, from the southern ocean, and that is carrying a lot of moisture and it brings a lot of rain. Then therefore suddenly there is a change in the weather where people were experiencing extreme heat and now suddenly they are able to experience that cool weather because of the rain. And early in the season, the windward side of the western Ghats receive very heavy rainfall, more than 250 centimeters. So early in this season, early in this rainy or monsoon season, the western Ghats receive very heavy rainfall. So they receive rainfall up to 250 centimeters. Then the Deccan Plateau and parts of Madhya Pradesh also receive some amount of rain in spite of lying in the rain shadow area. So this Madhya Pradesh and also the Deccan Plateau, they are known as living or laying in the rain shadow area. That means usually don't get receive the rain. The wind blows in the another direction. Though they are not in that line of the wind blowing, still they also receive some part of rain. And the maximum rainfall of the season is received in the northeastern part of the country. So during the monsoon, the highest amount of rainfall is received by northeast. And Monsoon Trough in the southern ranges of the Khasi Hills receive the highest rainfall in the world. So you can underline which is a place receiving the highest rainfall in the world. That is a place in Shillong or Meghalaya. And what is the name of the place? Monsoon Trough. So that location it receives the highest amount of rainfall. So before few years ago it was Cherrapunji, the place that also is in Shillong, Meghalaya, and Cherrapunji was the place which receives highest rainfall in the world. Now it is changed, the location is changed. Now another place nearby called Monsoon Trough, they receive the highest rainfall in the country, in the world. And rainfall in the Ganga Valley decreases from the east to west. And Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat get scanty rainfall. So yesterday also we said the rain does not give equally throughout the country. Some places receive more rain, some places receive less rain. So when the rain or when the wind is moving from Ganga Valley, that is from east to west, the rain is becoming less and less. That means the Ganga Valley, the east receives more rainfall and the rain is moving forward slowly to the west, and when it reaches the west, the rain is becoming less. So east receives more rainfall, the west side of the Ganga Valley receives less rainfall. And also Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat, they also receive very scanty rainfall. Scanty means very little. You know, naturally Rajasthan is a dry state, it has got desert and so on. And Gujarat also is somewhat like that. So these two states receive very little rainfall. Which are the two states? Rajasthan and Gujarat. They receive very scanty, very little rainfall. Then another phenomenon associated with the monsoon is its tendency to have breaks in the rainfall. So long we are talking about the rain advancing into the country and spreading throughout the country. Some places receive more rainfall, some places receive less rainfall. So another important characteristic of this monsoon rain is that it has got break. You know what is the meaning of break? We have after 2 periods break, or after 3 periods there is a break, 15 minutes break, there is no class, isn't it? So same way, it rains for a few days, maybe 1 week or 7 days or 8 days or 9 days, then few days there is no rain at all, completely dry. So there is a break. Then after a few days it will start again continuous rain. So that is called monsoon breaks. So during monsoon season we don't get rain from June to September non-stop. No, it starts raining from June, but after few days there may be few days break. Then again it starts. So that is called monsoon breaks. And thus it has wet and dry spells. So wet means when it is raining, it is called wet spell. And few days it will take break, there will be no rain, and that is called dry spell. So monsoon has got wet spell as well as dry spell. Then in other words, the monsoon rains take place only for few days at a time. So few days it will continuously rain, then it will have a break. And they are interspersed with rainless intervals. Then they are interspersed. Interspersed means having interval, having break. So they are having break with or interval with rainless days. And these breaks in monsoon are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. So we may ask why there are no rains for a few days. Why there are monsoon breaks? It is because of the movement of the monsoon trough. Trough, we said the line in which the wind is moving, the narrow line in which the wind is moving, that is called trough. So it is because of the wind is moving in the trough, and for various reasons the trough and its axis keep on moving northward or southward. So the wind is moving and there is an axis, the middle part, the center part of the wind. Sometimes it moves towards the east, sometimes it is moving towards the west. So it keeps on moving. Sometimes it is moving towards northward or sometimes it is southward, and which determines the special distribution of rainfall. So if it is moving southward, then south will get rain, then the north will have rain. And if it is moving northward, then north will have rain, south will have rain. So that is depending on this movement or the axis of this wind and which direction it is moving. And when the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. And when this axis of the wind is moving towards the plain area, they receive a lot of rain. Other places it will be dry. So it depends on in which direction it is moving. And on the other hand, whenever the axis shifts closer to the Himalayas, there are longer dry spells in the plains, and widespread rain occur in the mountainous catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers. And when this the wind axis is moving towards Himalayan mountains, over the Himalayan mountains and that catchment area, nearby areas will have very heavy rainfall, and all the other parts of the country will have dry. And that's why we said there are breaks. So I hope you understood what is the reason, because why we are having breaks in between, monsoon breaks. So the wind can move in any direction. It can move southwards, it can move northward, or it can move towards eastward or westward. And when it is moving in one direction, that area will have heavy rain. Other places will have very less rain or dry. So when it is moving towards Himalaya, Himalaya will have heavy rain. Other places it will be dry. When it is moving towards northern plain, that plain area will have very heavy rain. Other places it will be dry. So it keeps on moving. Then these heavy rain bring their wake devastating floods, causing damage to the life and property in the plains. So when the axis of the wind moving in one direction and that area has got very heavy rain, and that we know is often causing flood in the rivers. The rivers are flooded and the rivers are overflowing, and they enter into the cultivation field of the people. Their cultivation is destroyed, their houses are destroyed, their farm, their animals, everything is destroyed. So very often they are causing a lot of damage to the people. And the frequency and the intensity of the tropical depression too determine the amount and the duration of the monsoon rains. So how long this monsoon rain is going to continue, when is it going to take break, how it is decided? The frequency and the intensity of the tropical depression. It will depends on how often. Frequency means how often there is depression, or what is the intensity. Intensity means the strength, how strong it is, the depression, and that will determine the amount of duration of the monsoon rains. And these depressions from at the head of the Bay of Bengal and cross over to the mainland. The depressions follow the axis of the monsoon trough of low pressure. The monsoon is known for its uncertainties. So another speciality of the monsoon is it is uncertain. We cannot say it will start exactly in the first week of June, or it will exactly end in this month of October or September, and so on. It is uncertain sometimes. And the alternation of dry and wet spells vary intensely. And the break that they take, the dry spell and the wet spell, that the gap also is not same every year. Sometimes there may be long dry spell, sometimes there may be short dry spell, and so on. It can be different from year to year. And while it causes heavy floods one part, it may be responsible for droughts on the other. So we said when the wind axis moves one place, that place will have very heavy rain. Other places will be experiencing dry. So this wind, one place it will be causing floods. Where there is heavy rain, that area will be flooded, and where there is dry spell, that area will have very dry drought. And while it causes heavy floods one part, it may be responsible for droughts on the other part. And it is often irregular in its arrival and its retreat. So sometimes it comes early, sometimes it comes late, and sometimes it retreats early or retreats late, and so on. So there is no regular, it is irregular. Hence it sometimes disturbs the farming schedule of the millions of farmers all over the country. So we know our farmers, 60% of our Indian population are cultivating on the field, and most of them do not have the facility of irrigation and other facilities. They are completely depending on this monsoon rain to begin their cultivation. So sometimes they are ready to do the cultivation, but the monsoon is not coming, so they are waiting and waiting, and sometimes their field gets spoiled, or they get one rain and they start planting. Afterwards it will become dry spell and the rain moves to the other side, and the farmers' crops starts drying up. So all these problems are there because of irregularity of monsoon. However, the millions of the farmers in our country still depend on this monsoon rain because we have no other choice. So that is about the season, monsoon season. And now let us see about another season, the fourth season that we experience, that is retreating monsoon. The monsoon is going back. The retreating monsoon. So during October, November, so what will be the season? We can make up to September here. Then it starts from October, and here the November winter starts. So this season is the shortest season. It is between October to November. October to November it is a shortest season, just hardly 2 months. So during October, November, with the apparent movement of the sun towards the south, the monsoon trough or the low pressure trough over the northern plains becomes weaker. So because of the rotation of the earth, the sun is appearing in the southern side, and therefore what happens? The low pressure trough over the northern plains becomes weaker and weaker, and this is gradually replaced by a high pressure system. So the low pressure will become weaker and weaker, then it will be replaced by a high pressure system, another system. And the southwest monsoon winds weaken and start withdrawing gradually. And so because of this new pressure, the southwestern monsoon wind is becoming weaker and weaker, then slowly it starts blowing back. And by the beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from northern plains. So by the beginning of October, the monsoon wind is no more found in the northern plains. The months of October, November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter conditions. So we said during the rainy season we can experience two types of climate. Where there is heavy rain, it will be flooded, it will be rainy, and other side where it is dry spell, they will be experiencing drought situation. So this either rainy season or drought season, hot season. So these two season is suddenly changed into winter season and dry season. So there is no more rain now, it becomes completely dry and it is cold. The weather becomes cold. So there is a sudden change from the rainy season into a dry season and a cold season. And the months of October, November form a period of transition with change. Thus, suddenly the season is changed. The retreat of the monsoon is marked by clear skies and the rise in temperature. So, during this season, the specialty of the sky is it is very clear and the temperature, there is a rise in the temperature. Then, while day temperatures are high, nights are cool and pleasant. So during this season, during the day temperatures are very high, but during the night the temperature comes down and it is very pleasant, neither hot nor cold. It is very pleasant climate. And the land is still moist. Owing to the conditions of high temperature and humidity, the weather becomes rather oppressive during the day. So during the day the weather will be hot, not that cold. And this is commonly known as October heat. So we usually experience heat during the summer season, but here in the month of October also we experience heat. Not as strong as the summer season, but it is little bit of, we can say, high. The heat is high. Therefore, it is known as October heat. So the heat season or the heat experienced during the days of month of October, that is known as October heat. Then, in the second half of October, the mercury begins to fall rapidly in northern India. So after the 2 weeks of October, by third week of October, the mercury begins to fall. That means the temperature is beginning to become low and low. That means winter is starting. So in the northern area or northern India, the temperature begins to fall by second week of October. Then the low pressure conditions over northwestern India get transferred to Bay of Bengal by early November. So we said the monsoon is withdrawing because of the low pressure in the northern plains. Now that northern plain low pressure is started moving towards the Bay of Bengal by early November, beginning of November. Then this shift is associated with the occurrence of cyclonic depressions. So this shifting the low pressure from northern plain to the Bay of Bengal, and that it can cause cyclonic problems. And which originate over the Andaman Sea. So this low pressure, shifting of this low pressure can create cyclones, and it may start in near Andaman Sea. And these cyclones generally cross the eastern coast of India, cause heavy and widespread rain, and these tropical cyclones are often very destructive. So these cyclones, recently also we had the cyclone that is formed from the Bay of Bengal, and that was very destructive, especially for the state Bengal, Orissa and so on. They suffered a lot of buildings and trees, everything was damaged. So that causes, because of this forming of low pressure in this Bay of Bengal near Andaman Sea, and they thickly populated deltas of the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri are frequently struck by cyclones which cause great damage to life and property. So very often this cyclone that is starting, it is affecting the people who are living in the delta or in the valleys of these rivers, especially in the southern side, in the Deccan Peninsula. Which are the rivers? The deltas of Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri. So these three rivers are forming the delta, very fertile soil. The farmers are intensely cultivating there. But when occasionally these cyclones comes and they destroy their farming, they destroy their houses, their cultivation, everything, and the farmers suffer a great loss. And sometimes these cyclones arrive at the coast of Orissa, West Bengal and Bangladesh. So not only in India alone it is suffering, sometimes it goes to other side. It goes to Bay of Bengal, it goes to West Bengal, it goes to Orissa, and it also even crosses to Bangladesh. The bulk of the rainfall of the Coromandel coast is derived from depression and cyclones. So the bulk of the rainfall of the Coromandel coast. So the Coromandel coast, the area between Goa and Mumbai and so on. So that area receives a lot of rainfall, and the majority of the rainfall that they receive is coming from these cyclones. So whenever these cyclones are there, whenever there is depression is formed in the Bay of Bengal, the temperature is low there or temperature is high there, and from there the wind starts blowing and it is forming cyclones, and therefore that cyclone brings a lot of rain. So in this Coromandel region, most of the rain is caused by these cyclones. So on the one side people have got destruction, people experience destruction because of the cyclones. On the other side people experience a lot of rainfall because of the cyclones. So all these are going on from time to time or from area to area. So these are all effects of monsoon and different wind blowing and causing a low pressure, high pressure. That's how the different types of wind is formed, and throughout India it is blowing, and some places experience heavy rainfall, some places experience less rainfall and so on. So we can see there's a small column is given there. It is mentioned about Monsoon Trough. We said Monsoon Trough is the place where highest rainfall in the world is occurring. So just a few GK is given there. So Monsoon Trough, the wettest place on the earth. So that is the wettest. Wettest means receiving more rainfall and getting wet. The highest amount of rainfall. So that is also reputed for it is stalagmite and stalactite caves. There are two types of caves are there. It is found in this place. So when you get a chance, you can go and visit Shillong, Meghalaya, and visit this Monsoon Trough, which is the highest place of rainfall, and enter into these caves and see for your own knowledge how it is formed and so on. So there are caves are there which is formed out of stalagmite and satellite and stalactite, not satellite, stalactite. So these are minerals. So when you enter in some caves, you can find like a stone melting and almost falling down, like, isn't it? That is the type of this you will find in Monsoon Trough. These are two minerals. What are they? Stalagmite and stalactite. These two are the two types of minerals you will find in the cave. A lot of deposits are there, and these minerals are almost like rock melting, like we may think that water was falling down, then it became suddenly frozen and became ice and so. So this has become something like that. So if you get a chance, you go for higher studies in Shillong and study and visit all these places and experience by yourselves. So we shall wind it up for today, and we'll meet you again in the next class. Okay, have a nice day.